some of you got the recipe ahead of time. And you'll be cooking along with me or baking along with me. My name is Chef Rob, and my son Chris is here. So we just had an extended weekend. So I hope everybody had a really good weekend. And my wife and I, we actually went to where did we go? Lake George. We went to Lake George and then over to Massachusetts. So we had a great time. So before we start baking, I actually have to show everybody a picture. I know some of you probably go to Boston a lot. It's very convenient. And we went down to the north end, a little Italy there, right? And I'm sure a lot of you like cannolis, right? Well, we went to this place called Mike's Bakery. Some of you probably know it. And it was packed for cannolis. It was unbelievable. So I want to show everybody a picture of the craziness for cannolis in Boston this weekend. Okay. That was the lineup for cannolis. I'm going to show that there. It's so big, homemade shells. They were unbelievable. There's the inside of the bakery and the line wrapped down the road. We waited 45 minutes for cannolis. So it was pretty cool to say. Actually, here's some just showing you outside how it goes. I just had to show it, but I thought it was crazy. So, but we had a great time. All good weather, no rain. Thank God. When you go away, right? If it rains, no good. So everybody, if you are baking with me, turn on your oven now to 350. Okay. And another thing you can do, make sure you have a 9x5 loaf pan. I am just going to take a little bit of spray, just real quick. Don't get it all in the corners because it leaves a little puddle there. Then you taste the spray. Now, a little trick that I started doing since we've turned virtual for a while, more than a while, is I take some parchment paper. So if you have parchment paper, it's fine. If not, what I just did in the pan will be just fine as well. So what I do is just take a piece of parchment paper and just kind of fit it right in here, just like that. And then I give it a quick spray and then just trim a little bit of this because you don't want it to hit the coils on the top of the oven. And then when the bread is done, you can use this paper just to lift it out and you have a pan that's really easy to clean. Okay, almost basically just throw it in the dishwasher, no scrubbing, nothing. Okay. At any time, if anybody has any questions or comments, please let me know. So at the end, when the bread is done, you just go like that and you lift it right up. How convenient. So I know some of you have kits, and with the kits, there's all these different little bags. The first bag I want you to use is the brown sugar bag, and it has cinnamon in there, okay? So I am gonna show you exactly how to make this mixture. This one here, you're gonna use a 1/3 cup of brown sugar packed just against the sides like that, okay? Put it right in the bowl, and then 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Now there's 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in the recipe. In your kit, it has the 1 teaspoon in this one, and then you have another teaspoon in your other bag. So just take, whether it's a fork, your hands, spoon, just kind of toss this around. It's like a brown sugar cinnamon mixture, and we're just going to leave it to the side. Yes, Kush.
Moira X, what type of cooking spray? Olive oil, etc.
I'm using like a canola spray. Sometimes they sell a baking spray that has a little flour in it. You could use a butter spray, anything like that, just real quick. Okay, and that's really it. Or you could take the wrapper from this, okay, and use it and just kind of butter the side of the pan with that and just kind of lightly dust it with flour. It'll do the same exact thing. Okay. So this recipe calls for 2 medium-sized Granny Smith apples. So I bought the bag of the Granny Smith apples. And if you ever buy the bag of the Granny Smith apples, they're the smallest apple possible. Look at this apple, okay? I can almost like where you don't even see it's in my hand, okay? So I'm actually using 4 of these tiny little apples. But 2 medium to large is definitely enough, okay? Can you use a different apple? Of course you can. I just thought the tartness against all the sweet that's in here is really good, okay? Next week, I am going to be doing a Honey Crisp apple snickerdoodle bread, okay? And that'll be on Monday. And I have that twice in one day, and it's on Facebook both times. That's the Hot Dog Library at 1 o'clock. I'm also doing a different dish with that. And then at 6:30 at the Hampton Bays Library. Okay, Facebook. So I'm just going to I cut the rest of the apples up, or peel them, I should say. I'm just going to dice these really small. If I'm going too fast for anybody that's baking with me, please just let me know. Okay. I hope all the kits from the library all went. And if you are making this, expect to have a huge loaf. This is a huge loaf, and it is really, really good. This probably, it's got to be maybe my favorite bread. I made this probably about 6 months ago. I did the YouTube video for this, and my wife tried it. She said that might have been the best one. So it's apple season, right? Corn, tomatoes, zucchini, they're all gone. Now we can still get them, but as soon as Labor Day comes, they turn the switch and it's apple and pumpkin season. Boy, when I was away, the pumpkin and the apple was just everywhere, especially like a Starbucks, a Dunkin' Donuts, any of those type places.
They started that in August.
They did. They started around August, I think 22nd or something like that. I heard them talking about that. I think it was because Labor Day was late this year, and they can't miss out on one extra day of missing out on pumpkin and apples. So if you want to try different apples with this, Gala apples, those are good. Honey Crisp would be fine with this. Fuji apples, Pink Lady, any of those. We have a lot of supermarkets and farm stands here on Long Island, so you can really try all the different apples that come out. I remember having a couple of years lately a lemonade apple. I got that at Meat Farms. I know you guys aren't too far from Meat Farms in Islip. We may have some people from out of state watching too. So you may not have a Meat Farms, but I'm sure you have a good farm stand or good supermarket right by you. Okay, so this is a nice amount of apple. Now I'm just going to take this, put it right in this bowl right here. Then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the sugar and a teaspoon, that's the extra teaspoon of the cinnamon. So this is in your other bag. And now it gets the 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Make sure you use the full amount. Cinnamon and apples, nothing better than that. So I'm just going to toss this and combine it. And I'm going to leave that to the side. So we're going to make a bunch of bowls, leave them all to the side, and then we're going to put them all together and assemble it. Okay, so I'm going to leave the apple mixture here. This is the brown sugar cinnamon topping right here. Okay, so now we're going to take 1 stick of unsalted butter, room temperature, just like that. Okay, and now just put this right in this bowl right here, nice and soft. And now 2/3 of a cup of the granulated sugar. And we're gonna beat this for 2 minutes, okay? It's really important to beat it for 2 minutes. And then what we're gonna do is add 2 eggs, one at a time, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So while we're beating this, if anybody has any questions, comments, Chris will read it to me and I will read it off to you, read the answer to you. Hopefully I have the answer for you. Now this is gonna bake in a 350 oven, 50 to 60 minutes. You're gonna wanna cool this in a pan for 10 to 15 minutes. I like to just take a knife and just kind of gently go against the side of the bread when it comes out, just kind of loosen it, and then take it and put it on a wire rack and completely cool it before you put the glaze on it. The glaze is a preference. If you like it sweet, definitely use the glaze. You can even use half of it if you want. If you have to watch on the sugars or you just want to be careful on the sugars, okay? So I'm going to give everybody some of the classes that I will be doing. Tomorrow night, the Emma Clark Public Library at 7 o'clock on their Zoom. And if you're like on Islip Zoom now, you want to go to Emma Clark Public Library tomorrow night, learn a pasta dish. I'm doing pasta ECC. That's with chickpeas and rosemary. It's really, really good. And then we're doing a warm marbled pound cake with apricot preserves, mascarpone, and toasted almonds. And then Friday, my first in-person adult class on Long Island. And we are going to be in Mattatuck at 5:30. We're doing an autumn garden vegetable soup, and we're doing pumpkin pie cannolis. Hey, September, pumpkins in. Okay, just a few seconds, and then we are just going to add in the eggs one at a time, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay, just crack that in here. Okay, just pop that right in there. If you can bring the eggs to room temperature, it is helpful. And it just incorporates the batter really, really nicely. And now I'm just going to turn this off because I cannot possibly measure out 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract with the blender going, or the mixer, I should say. Okay, just like that.
Molly asks, how much brown sugar and cinnamon mixture? I missed the first 5 minutes.
Sure. The first, I'm just going to turn this on to mix it, but the brown sugar is 1/3 cup of brown sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then the apple mixture is 2 medium Granny Smith apples peeled and diced, and then 2 tablespoons of sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon, all mixed, as Chris is showing you. And this is one stick of butter, 2/3 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now, I believe that you will be able to get the recipe from the Islip Public Library after the class as well. I'm sure if you emailed them or called them, they would send it out, or it may be on their Facebook, it may be on their website. Maybe you have to buy it. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave this to the side here. I want to take 1.5 cups of the all-purpose flour. Okay, 1.5 cups. And now 2 teaspoons of the baking powder, which is going to give it a nice rise. You want to make sure it's nice and level. Okay, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. That will bring out the vanilla, the cinnamon, the apple flavor. We're just going to beat this just until it is mixed and combined. Don't want to overmix the batter now. It's going to be a very thick batter. When you should stop is when you don't see any flour, just stop. Just keep getting the sides down, okay? And then you want to add a half cup of whole milk. Anytime you use a recipe, a baking recipe, and it just says milk, it means the real deal, and not the 1%, not the low fat, because the whole milk will make it come out better. So a half cup of whole milk. Just put that right in here. And now I just want to mix this until it is combined. This loosens it up a little bit. This will make it nice and moist. Really moist bread. It freezes really good. Sometimes I get people say, how many slices are in, do you get out of it? Everybody slices differently. So I would say 8 really good slices. Okay. So I'm just going to disconnect this. I will put these right here. Mess up my table. Now I'm just going to get the prepared pan. Okay. And now what you want to do is spoon half of this batter right in here. Try to get it as equal as possible. And then just kind of bring it over a little. Make sure it's kind of nice and flat, nice and level. Again, anybody got any questions out there? So when I will be back in the Islip Public Library, we're going to do an in-house class on November 4th. And Kelly, I looked it up, and we are doing, as you said, the turkey bolognese. And then we're also doing a marbled pound cake with apricot preserves, toasted almonds. Okay, so dinner and dessert at the library. How great, right? But we're back, right? We're doing that. Okay, so now you want to take half of your apples. Okay, so we have a good amount of apples. Using the 4 very small ones that I used probably gave me about 2.5 to maybe 3 apples, which is fine. This is like a fully loaded bread. And then we have our brown sugar and cinnamon mixture right here. You're going to take half of it and just kind of dust the top of this. And now just take just like not a sharp knife, just a butter knife, something like that, and just kind of zigzag and kind of let the crumbs and the cinnamon, the brown sugar just kind of fall into the batter. Okay, just really nice and gently. Now we're going to take the remaining batter and put this right on top. Whoop.
You missed.
May not be so easy taking it out of the pan for me tonight, huh? Well, I made one in advance, so you'll see how it really does come out. Slide this over. Let me get the rest of the batter in here. So for any of you that have picked up kits in the past, let me know what was your favorite to make. I'd love to hear. Which one was your favorite? Okay, we're just going to make this nice and even.
Alex, could you just throw the apples and topping mixture into the batter before putting it in the pan?
Yeah, you could do that. I'm trying to create like a little swirl effect in there. But if you want to just almost like a dump cake, absolutely. It can work. And hello, Gal. It's been a week, hasn't it? Okay, so we're just going to take the remaining apples now. And remember, this goes into a 350 oven for about 50 to 60 minutes. Definitely make sure you check it with like a toothpick or something like that. Okay, I'm leaving any excess water there because I don't want to water down my bread. And now I'm just going to take the remaining cinnamon sugar and just dust this right here.
I know my dessert tonight.
Where are you going?
This.
Nah, you go to Carvel.
Oh yeah.
Now I have to bring this to Kelly. Kelly said she was hungry, so I
Oh,
got.
that's true. Yeah.
I'm just getting, my oldest son Robert, he's in AMT, so I'm gonna have him put the lights on, and we're gonna do an emergency DoorDash to Kelly there. Okay, so this is gonna go right in the oven, 350, 50 to 60 minutes. Put a little piece of aluminum foil on the rack above. That way it prevents it from getting too dark too quickly. You can check it in about 40 minutes. If you think you want a little more color on there, just pull it out. Yes.
Moira X, is it better to bake convection or plain bake?
I like convection oven because it really circulates the air really good around it. Gets the bottom, the top, all around it.
You never cook with something other than convection roast.
That's the only button I hit. Yeah. Yeah. Occasionally when we're doing a class, I need to broil something at the end. I hit the broil button, but yeah, my finger always, it's like a magnet, just goes right to the convection. Okay, so I'm putting this in the oven, then we're gonna make the glaze. And the glaze, it's a secret recipe that I'm only doing for the Islip Library. Okay. It's convection sugar and milk. Okay. Don't tell anybody the recipe.
Gail said, but I did see one of your videos from the Rockville Center Library this morning.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question about that. Provolone and broccoli orchette pasta. You said we could add chicken or shrimp. Since it only bakes for 20 minutes, would they be cooked or raw?
I would put them in cooked already. Okay. If you're doing the chicken, maybe thighs or the rotisserie chicken, something like that, I think that would work good. Same with the shrimp as well. And there's nothing wrong with making it the way I made it and then just kind of putting it on top, just kind of mixing it at the very end too. So that way it doesn't overcook. So I'm just going to take a half cup of powdered sugar. Remember, this is a secret recipe from way back.
Yeah.
Oh, how far back, Chris?
A few
Now-
months.
Now it's 1 tablespoon. So I'm just going a little lighter because sometimes it gets a little too thin and then you have to get more powdered sugar, put it on. Okay. But sometimes you got to add a little more milk, just like this.
Gail said, thanks for doing it at the end. It's a great idea.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Gail, we could actually plan something where the day that you're making it, as soon as it comes out of the oven, I will have chicken and shrimp and I will just deliver it and put it right on top. And then I'll just leave if you want.
Or we'll take the food.
Yeah, we'll take the food. Yeah. Okay. So you want it to be just like this. Okay. You want it to be a nice thick glaze. I'm actually just going to put a dot more, just a dot. Now this is very sweet, but if you like your cinnamon rolls and things like that, well, this is for you then. Okay. So our bread is done. An
That's
hour
quick.
went by. Yeah, Chris, I tell you, time flies
What
by.
happens when you do a convection
Yeah.
roast?
So yeah, convection roast. Just lift it out just like this. And you could see, whoa, I am gonna break it. I'm gonna pop this open. I'm gonna slide it right off onto this platter right here, just like this.
Alex, could you add a dash of lemon juice to cut the sweetness of the glaze?
Well, absolutely, because a little bit of lemon on the apples, for apple cinnamon, would go perfect. That it would absolutely be fine. And now what you would do is just, since this is totally cold, because I made this about 2 hours ago, I am just going to take some of this and just drizzle it right on here. And it's a Granny Smith apple fritter bread. Again, put on as much or as little as you want. So if you got the kit and you're making this along and you say, I just want to use half the glaze, just a hint of this. Well, just add a half tablespoon of the milk or just a little bit at a time. Okay.
Someone said, yay, through the magic of video.
It runs down the sides, it runs down the sides. And then you could always slice this open. And if you wanted to drizzle the inside too, you could do it that way. So you lucky folks at the Islip Public Library, I hope you picked up your kits and you're making this. Again, it will freeze great. You'll see my finger, like this is how soft and moist it really is. Okay, really good. So let me just see if we have any questions or comments. Okay, we don't have anywhere we got to go. If not, I'll give you some of my schedule for next week as we're waiting to see if anybody has any questions.
Would you freeze it with the glaze on it?
You could, absolutely, because after you let this sit a little bit, maybe put it in the refrigerator a half hour to an hour, it's going to kind of be a little thick and like nice, like if you went and got a muffin with a little glaze on it, freezes perfectly. If you wanted to make the bread, freeze it, save the little bag of confectionery sugar, and then when you're going to use it, you can make the glaze then as well, too.
Okay.
Have you made anything before of mine?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite?
Right now I'm thinking the blueberry muffin cookies.
I like those. I make something just like it at lemon blueberry scones too.
Oh, how can I get that recipe? I tried with one of the other libraries and I couldn't get through.
You know what I will do when I am done with this? I will send the recipe over to Lori. Okay, and I don't believe Lori is there tonight, so give her till New Year's Day or no, Malika, give her till tomorrow or something, and
Okay.
She'll have the recipe there.
Because I got for Christmas 2 different scone pans. You know, the scone pan is round and it has the divisions in it.
Yeah. Yep. And I do know if you go to some of the library, it could be the Plain Edge Library or the Comswag Library. I actually did that as a YouTube video. And some of them just leave them up there too. So you may be able to go back and watch the whole class, but make sure you use the regular, the heavy cream for everything it's exact. So it comes out really good. Okay. I'm just going to give everybody what I'm doing next week. Okay. Before we do go, remember tomorrow, Emma Clark at 7:00. So if you want to sign up, call up that library and you can go on the Zoom and watch that. Let's see. And on Sunday, I'm live in Hot Pog. I am doing the autumn garden vegetable soup and pumpkin pie cannolis. On Monday, the Hicksville Library, I will be doing a Honeycrisp apple snickerdoodle bread and a Tuscan penne chicken over fettuccine. So, Gail, Susan, never did it before. Okay. Hampton Bays, Facebook, I'm doing the Honeycrisp apple snickerdoodle bread. They have kits just like the Islip Public Library. That's at 6:30. I have a teen class in person on Tuesday. Riverhead Wednesday, I am in person. Thursday, I am at the Parkland Public Library. And right now it's at 6:30, but we may be moving it to 7:15. Okay. And that one I am doing cider glazed roasted chicken wings. Okay. So that's a different one. And then in Freeport on Friday at 12:00 in person, I am doing a chicken fajita pasta salad. I think I went over Wednesday. Riverhead in person, and that's a chicken fajita pasta salad. So we're kind of some in person, some live, some like this, and some of them will be filming it. I may not know till I get there too. So you can always check with that library.
And that's up to the library, not us.
Yeah, not up to us. Yep. Yeah. So, Kelly, thank you. Say hello to Lori, and thank you to the Islip Public Library. And I hope you guys enjoy this bread. Please, if make it, you'll love it. Have a great day, everybody. And I'm gonna send that recipe to the library. So if anybody else wants it, okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rob, so much.
You are welcome. Bye-bye, Kelly.
Bye.